Happy Saturday. Surprise. I'm surprising myself coming live because I don't know, just decided to because I started coloring. So, I no, just figured I would. Um, and I'm coloring in, what is it, Maria Trolle's The Midnight, what's it called? No, Nightfall is what it's called. And I've been using ink tints. I actually trying because I've never used I haven't used them that much, the ink tints, and I thought, well, let me try using them in this book, see how I like it. And I figured I'd try using it on a page that's has the black background because the ink tints have a more vibrant color, so I thought that might be kind of helpful. So let's see. I'm just gonna color. I don't know how much I'm gonna talk. I just want to color. I don't know. I always wind up talking, don't I? What's that? Oh, book. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I gotta sharpen. I need these to be sharper. Oh, that did pretty good. Been very busy lately, and like I said, I kind of just have been in the mode of like I just want to do analog life, analog life, especially since with work being at a session, it's like let's do something else, and so do anything that I can do away from my desk, and I've been doing that. I did this side because was trying to figure out how do I want to do this, or how am I going to do this. So on this side, I think I'm gonna use like acrylic markers or gel pens or something to go over the design inside the little wild tulip things, fritillaria, whatever they're called. But yeah, I'm trying to get the hang of like how these things work and what you can do with them. So, and I like how they feel on this paper too. By the way, I don't know if I want to open the chat or not because I don't know. Kind of wonder if they have any music that's kind of what's that? I forgot. I put some on here. Can you hear it? I'm gonna hear a little overlap for a minute. I want to see. Trying to see how loud the music is. It's hard to tell. Oh, I forgot to put it on repeat. Oops. That's why it's not coming on again. Okay. So I took a picture of my my little butterbean plant, small lima bean, and I have to upload that. Um, and I mean, it finally just, I guess it was kind of stalling for a while, and now all of a sudden it just busted out. I haven't even been looking at it. My husband has been. It's like the only thing we have planted in our raised bed, because like I said, it's, you know, getting back into gardening outside is something I got to lead up to, because it's just something I got to lead up to. So this is like a year where we're just like getting used to the idea of doing it again, and me teaching my husband the things I know, because mostly I was the one doing it, but now that he's retired, you know, he wants to get more into it, so I'm teaching him stuff about it, and having him he's doing most of it because he's, you know, really wants to get into it. So, and that works out good for me because I'm kind of like, I need to warm up to it and assess where we are right now with the garden and everything. But yeah, so he's been the one keeping an eye on that, and so yeah, he told me that yeah, it's kind of busting out now. It's like, oh, so we went. I looked at it. We looked at it today, and I was like, okay, um, what is it, like a foot tall now? I think, and I don't know, cause like, what is it? Probably, you know, we got August, the rest of July, August, then September, and then after that, it's iffy how, you know, I may have to take it out of, if it hasn't produced anything at a certain point, you know, like by September, I'm gonna, either way, even if it does, I'm gonna overwinter the plant, and so then like I can just, if I can keep it alive inside, um, then I can just put the plant outside next year instead of having to start from seed, because it seems like they do have a really long, they need a long growing period, but I did get the seeds from a place that's up here, you know, in the northern part of New York. So, you know, usually, um, so they don't, and they like provide to people like local farmers and things like that. So I figured that, you know, that would be the best place to get them from, because then I know that they know how short our growing season is here. But then also, growers usually they start their plants indoors, you know, and I wasn't doing that with that. I don't know, maybe I could do that next year, but I don't really enjoy starting seeds indoors. I really don't. It's not my thing. I don't know why I want to leave that lighter, but I do, but I feel like I probably shouldn't. I don't know why. At least not that light. Okay, so there's one side. Let's do this one. Right, ink tensor right here. I didn't even like, I didn't work for the perfect position of my webcam, because my goal is I just wanted to color, and I thought, well, you might as well come on if you're really gonna come on here and do this. I thought, yeah, might as well. It's been a while. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was tendonitis or bursitis. I don't know which one it was, but all of a sudden, like, what, 2, 3 weeks ago, I was just doing something in the kitchen, and basically, I don't know. I think I was just walking to another side of the kitchen, and I did my hand a certain way where it kind of like, went back, just like nothing, normal moving, but I had this shooting pain in my hand that was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh, what is that? Put my hands between my legs because like, oh my gosh, that hurt so bad. And it was like fire. And the one thing it reminded me of is when I would get like bursitis or tendonitis in my shoulder, which like was excruciating. I think I don't know, I haven't gotten it that much, like, but when I get it, I really get it. Um, and one of those things that happen because of repetitive motion, and I guess I don't know. I've been doing so much stuff in the house and like moving like a mad woman, so like I could have, maybe my body was like sick of that. All the stuff I've been shoving around and all that. So and so my hand and my wrist and hand, the fingers were jacked up for a bit, and was doing ice and got some Tylenol. Not Tylenol. Tylenol doesn't do anything for it, and I even took it just in case because that was all I had. Um, we have naproxen, but my body does not like naproxen. That thing does weird things to me. So I got some Advil liquid gels. Once I got those, I was like, bang! That really really took care of it. In addition to what I was doing before I had that, because I was using. I started making my smoothies with my morning smoothies with the turmeric, the cubes of golden milk that I have in the freezer. So it's like turmeric, and that was helping. And then putting ice on it, and then I have two different hand wrist braces. So I was using those, and they help. But then it's like once you take it off and whatever, and I couldn't do anything with my hand. I could not do anything for a few days, nothing at all, which is hard because I'm right-handed, and it was happening with my right hand. Which also meant I couldn't play piano. I was really bummed out about that. Part of the injury, between all the stuff I've been doing around the house and playing piano and doing a lot of writing and stuff, yeah, that combination, my wrist was like, it just, I don't know, it just had enough. It rebelled. And I've been working on my hand position with piano, hand and wrist, and I think one day when I sat down, I sat down really quick, and I probably shouldn't have. And I did something, and I probably shouldn't have done whatever that was I did. But I can't remember what it was. But yeah, we can't do that again because, yeah, my hand, that was not good. I don't think that helped either. So I think it might have been that and a combination of that, and then me just working hard, doing all kinds of stuff. In addition to that, that it just had enough. And the only solution to that is you got to wait for it to calm down. And I'm still kind of in that, you know, stage. I think, what is this, the first day I didn't take any? No, this might be the second day I haven't taken any Advil. But I probably need to take some before I go to bed, just to, I don't want to overdo it, but I do want to, make sure that I get the flare up to flare all the way down as much as possible, because that was really weird, and I'd never had a pain like that in that part of my hand. Usually, like if something happens with my hand, it's my thumb. It's always like here, but this was like right in the middle of my hand, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" Um, but yeah, so and I looked up some hand exercises that I need to do them like daily, hand exercises for pianists, just to keep um, them limber and not incur, so I won't have any strain. You know, doing warm ups every time I sit down to play, um, all that kind of stuff. So I really need to program the system for when I sit down to play, which I kind of been exercising. And that's one thing I started doing because I couldn't go that as soon as I could touch the piano. I was like, okay, we're gonna do that. We're just gonna use, and I just used my. Let's do everything I can with my left hand. So I was doing left hand. I have a book on left hand um, things. Like when you're playing, like different fills or whatever you can do with your left hand. So I took that book out and I started working in that one every day. And just did stuff just with my left hand. And then I started gradually, like, just kind of doing warm up exercises with my right hand when I felt like I could do that comfortably. I was bummed out though that happened with this because I was getting so much done. And then that, like, literally put a cramp in my style. It's like, now what do I do? I could barely even hold a book open. It was like, oh, it was such a drag. There were a couple of days I really couldn't do anything. And I started thinking, you know what? I need to learn how to write with my left hand, write in color. Let's see what else is going on. See, this is going to help me get this done. Hey, Shar. Thank you. Yeah, I kind of like, I can't remember. I use a bunch of things on here. Some of them, like some kind of gel stick thing, is on there too. And I kind of like, it kind of did went over, but I kind of like that because it makes it look like he's glowing. He's glowing bunny. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to keep it. I'm not gonna, it's a happy accident. That's what we're gonna make that. Hope you're doing well. So, something I got, this is like my new, although I gotta chill out a little bit with it, but I still don't have the song that I want to have, I don't think, but this is a song that I'm always singing, even though I don't know all the words. Now I'm gonna know all the words. But I found the sheet music transcribed, a transcription of this Stevie Wonder song. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to play this. So it was available as a digital download through Sheet Music Plus, and so I bought it, and I'm gonna learn how to play that. That's on my list. So I still well have to on my goals for piano is I want to be able to play the three pieces, at least two of the three Bach minuets that I kind of know how to play, but I never play them from beginning to the end without a mistake. Um, and so my goal is to learn how to play, to be able to play both of those, at least two of the three that I know, to be able to play them from beginning to end without stopping, without mistakes. And so, because I need to get over that hump of just playing what I feel like playing and then letting the rest go. I need to stop doing that. I think that's why piano teachers always have recitals. I hate recitals. But anyway, I'm using Inktense, Derwent Inktense, and that's basically all I'm using on this. But the bunny, I did other things. I did the bunny a long time ago, but the other day I did this side of the page because was trying to figure out, well, what do I want the flowers to look like on this page? I thought, well, let me do the ones on this page, and then I can figure that out. And I did use Inktense on these, and so I kind of want to use Inktense in this book a little bit more and see how, because I'm trying to get used to how they work. So, and I think I kind of was feeling like I wanted to use something different for a while. And I've been using a lot of the combo I've been using a lot of is um, chromaflows and prismas, or polychromos and prismas, with a little bit of, well, I always have these spares that are hanging around of colors. Oh, and I've been using brute fooners too. All kind of using them in conjunction with prismas mostly. So let's see, water time. I need to get these water brushes out, but I don't really have room to do that right now. But someday I need to do that. Just trying to get used to how do these things work. And I like these better than watercolor pencils, just because, I don't know, I like the idea of the stain. I like the idea that once it's there, it can't smudge or anything. So it's something that really bugs me. Like, you have a book that has good paper, and then that's what's happened to me in my Hannah Carlson books, where stuff will smudge and it just drives me nuts. I don't like the smudge. It keeps me from wanting to color in the book because I don't have the know-how of how to prevent the smudge. That's something I still need to figure out. I don't know why I kind of like the white space in these. I'm not sure how to use it efficiently. Ooh, went over a little bit, didn't we? And that the heat that we've been getting, it seems, I don't know if it's my imagination or what, but it seems like it caused some things, like we have these things up here They're actually, what do you call them? They're daylilies. But we have orange ones up here that I don't even know how they got there. It seems like they're all over the place. I know that daylilies really propagate, like, on their own, but they're always in people's, like, ditches around here. The ditches in front of their houses or something. Really kind of random. So we call them ditch lilies. That's what we call them because they're always in everybody's ditches. And those are coming up. Those are all up now. Um, Seeing those everywhere. My lovage, it's like it's already going to seed. I was like, boy, this seems like it's awfully soon. It was doing that like 3 weeks ago. It was already going, you know, developing the seeds. I was like, what the heck? And I think the heat that we got over like last month just really sent everything into overdrive. I don't know if I want to put as much on that one. Did I? And the something did it. I think I mentioned this already though. Something did drag out my the parsley that I had planted outside. So I kind of did that just to kind of show my husband, see, this is what happens. You have to have your battlements in place so the critters don't run off with your stuff. No, no, I didn't use colors on this. No, I'm just saying the pencils I've been using as I've been coloring, because I've been coloring in my gnome book a lot. Um, those just in general pencils I've been coloring with lately, not necessarily, in here. No, I just pulled out. I actually started. What did I? Maybe I actually started with something else with the. I can't remember why I got them out. I got them out for something, but I don't remember what. And then I don't know, I kept them out. I don't remember what I was coloring in. Oh, I know, the gnome book. I started seeing how the Derwent um, Inktense would work in the gnome book. And I wasn't enjoying it. I can probably show you the page later, but I wasn't enjoying it. But I still had them out, and I thought was flipping through here to see, like, okay, is there a page I can try these out on in this book? And then, so yeah. Um. Okay, so what else we got? I don't know. I kind of like the flowers just like they are. I feel like they're done. Except, I'm gonna go back and, like I said, probably use gel pen, acrylic marker, something to kind of do something with those, but I don't know what. I don't know. Not sure. Not sure how much I want to be doing, like really fine little things that small in here. I did. Let's see. And trying to figure out how to do the. So I actually went to like one of the little kind of farm country markets that are around here, and I was looking specifically for cheddar bread, because my husband went to Toronto um, with his daughter like a few weeks ago, and they stopped at some country store up there in Ontario, and he brought back some. It was called apple cheddar bread because it was a store that had. I mean, it was all about apples, and there weren't that many apples, fortunately, in this bread because I thought that was kind of weird. But it's like loaf bread, and man, it was so good. I think the apples they just had a few on the top. Like I think if somebody really bought it because they wanted apple bread, they would have been disappointed because there wasn't much apple going on in there. But I don't know. I guess I never had cheddar bread before, which seems kind of surprising, or maybe I just forgot. But that stuff was so good, and I actually made some croutons. It tasted really good toasted, and then I because I didn't want it to go bad, and like it's not something you want to eat every day, and I didn't want to put it in the freezer because there's already too much stuff in the freezer. I thought, you know what? Let me make croutons out of it because you throw it on top of your salad. That's perfect. Croutons that have cheese in it. So that's what I did. I like chopped up the bread, like cubed it, what was left, and I put it in the air fryer. Did I toss? I tossed in a little bit of butter too, and then I put it in the air fryer. Them things, like you can eat them just like that. Oh my god, they taste so good. They're crunchy. So I was like, I need more cheddar bread in my life. So I thought surely somebody around here sells cheddar bread, but I haven't found them yet. And I went to the main place today that I thought if anybody has it, they do. Nope, they don't. And I don't want like a store brand, or anything like that, a commercial, like big company brand. No, I want one that's baked locally, or at least within like a 50 to 100 mile radius. I don't know. I haven't found it yet. I checked with my off the muck thing. They don't have anybody that offers it, and so I've been thinking. I was like, well, I wonder I could make my own, and I was trying to figure out how I would do that. I don't really make bread. That's not, anything. I don't even know if I've ever tried to. Um, and Then I started thinking, well, I thought I heard about some people like them making bread in their Instapot and things like that. And I don't have an Instapot, but I do have an electric pressure cooker, which basically, it's the same thing, but it doesn't have a setting. Mine doesn't have a setting like for yogurt or bread. Um, and so I was thinking maybe I can make it like that, but I don't want to think that hard. When I got home today, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to think that hard. And so even though it says, nah, I don't need a bread maker, I bought a bread maker because I really, I don't know, it must be time for me to have a bread maker and to try and figure out the funny thing is, I don't know, I don't know. I haven't been that much of a bread eater, really. Um, Not like in the last 10 years, but um, I think it depends on the bread. Um, I don't know. I usually like small bread. Like I don't like. I don't know. I'm not like there was like, especially growing up, there was this whole thing when you eat like certain things that you're always eating it with bread, like spaghetti, anything with sauce in it, or Um, you have anything with gravy, like meat and gravy, you have bread along with whatever, like the mashed potatoes, and it's like, and I'm just like, no, that's too much. Mm-mm. My adulthood, I'm like, no, that sounds gross. Don't need that. What's it doing? Oh, you already got one starch. You don't need that one. Um, but depending on what else I put in the bread myself, if I make it myself, that could be interesting. That would make not doesn't mean I'll eat more bread, but that the bread that I eat will be a little more thoughtful. And for the fact that I don't really eat bread like that, um, making it myself might be better, might be more cost efficient or something. I don't know. It just must be time for me to do it because I've always been against it. Buying a bread maker. I don't need one. I've been asked about that before, and it's like, I don't need a bread maker. What do I need a bread maker for? But that cheddar bread, that's how much that cheddar bread affected me. That stuff was so freaking good. It toasted, oh my gosh. Yeah. Not big on the starch thing. That's even like I bought a sack of potatoes today, which like was different because like I said, I don't know, I'm not big on the I don't know. I'm always looking at how much of certain things I eat because it's like I always think of what is it doing for my body. And but I bought a sack of potatoes because they happen to be from a place that's not far from here, and they're like new potatoes. They're like their first yield or whatever. I was like, oh yeah, I'm getting that. I'm supporting that local farm. Yep, getting them. And I don't know that I've ever had new potatoes other than ones that I pulled from my own yard that I got from just throwing scraps outside, which is something I used to do. And I can't do since the pandemic because certain rodents started migrating with the pandemic when everything shut down. The rodents that hang around their garbage cans and stuff started spreading out, and that started something out here. Let's just put it that way. So that now, like, I can't do that. I used to be able to throw scraps right out in the yard and they would just feed the dirt. Done. Can't do that anymore. Plus, we don't have the cats either. That might be another part of it. Or the dogs. So, but, yeah, new potatoes. So I want to make I think I want to make a potato salad, like, not the traditional one. For me to make the traditional one, like, which I do love, but I just don't have, I'm thinking more about what's in my food and how it's feeding me. And, and I'm not ready for a treat yet to make that one. Plus, if I make that one, the regular, eggs, mayonnaise, pickles, all that kind of stuff, I would have to have hot dogs, burnt hot dogs. And I'm not in the mood for a hot dog either. I haven't had a burnt hot dog yet this year, I don't think. Maybe I'll do it for Labor Day. But I'm just not in the mood. It doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't appeal to me for some reason. Maybe it will soon, but not right now. Nice burnt hot dog on a fresh bun with mustard. I'm a happy girl. Side of potato salad, even happier. But anyway, that's not the kind of potato salad I'm gonna make. I'm probably gonna make like kind of like I don't know, like a German potato salad, the kind that has like or something with well, no, not German potato salad either. Not that, because I don't want to. I don't know. I don't want to cook the potatoes like that. I still want them chunked like regular potato salad, but I think I want to use something like use balsamic vinegar in it instead of mayo. Mayo. I can talk. So there was one that I made a long time ago that was really good that had that combination in there, and I can't remember the other stuff that was in it, but I think I gotta see if I can find that recipe because I want something where I can sit and eat it like it's in the bowl is like a full meal. You know what I mean? Minus the meat or whatever. I'm in New York. Yeah, I'm in New York State. So, okay, I like how these turned out. I did better on these leaves. See, I like how with the ink tents you can kind of you can achieve more with less. That's kind of cool. I kind of like that. You just gotta know how to put it down so you will achieve more with less. I missed some spots. And you gotta make sure your pencil's sharp enough, especially for little things, because these are fat pencils. So, is there any more? No, there's some in there. I think that's it. So I got my filling on the tooth that I needed the filling. I got that this week. Finally. And now, oh yeah, now we're really getting to the end of like this three. No, she's actually down in the like the DMV area. Yeah, Mid Atlantic. I'm only like 4 hours away from Canada. An hour by boat, but four by land. Four by land, one by sea. Arr. I love it up here. I always say like I really say I want to be ready to jump the border. Like I didn't realize how real that was until this year, or it's until 2025. But it's like I don't know if they'll take me now, but I really wouldn't mind living in Canada. In some ways, it's almost like I'm already there. We have a lot of well, it's just like with Detroit. Detroit's the same way, and it's kind of like Detroit has. I don't know. Every state that lives near the Great Lakes kind of has a similar um, feel, in a similar kind of I don't know what you call it. My husband actually he brought back this is like, what do you want from Canada? I said Kit Kats. I want Kit Kats. Canadian Kit Kats are the best. Oh my gosh, they taste like real chocolate. You can taste like the evaporated milk or whatever in them. Man, them things. I think I have. I don't even know how much he got, but I think I only have like four left in the freezer. I've been tearing them up. Here's one of them. It's like I'm tearing these things up. It's like, okay, you gotta conserve. You're not gonna like they're not gonna last forever. When they're gone, they're gone. You're gonna have to drive all the way up there to get more. I love these things. They taste so much better than American. All their chocolate, over the counter chocolate candy up there is better than ours. tastes like real chocolate as opposed to wax. I used to do that like long time ago when because I used to live closer to Toronto, and every once in a while I would either with friends or by myself even. I would go up to Canada, and two things I would get: Claritin D and Kit Kats. Because at the time they weren't selling. You could only get Claritin by prescription back then here, but over there they were selling it over the counter. So I would drive up there on a weekend and get them. It's like the two most important things in life: chocolate and a decongesting allergy medicine, which I found out decongestants actually don't. They don't, yeah, they don't do anything. The best thing to do is rinse your nose. I don't do those anymore. It's even like I have Zyrtec and all that other kind of stuff. I'm not even taking it. It's like, why? What for? I'm just not, I don't know. So, did I do these? I don't like that darker green. Where's the lighter darker green? Which one did I use? It's hard to tell with these. I didn't really like that one, but I'm gonna wind up using it anyway. It's not as green, but I don't know if they still do that in Canada or not. But I also used to like to go up there because you could actually get brewed tea, like even in their fast food places or whatever. Instead of, in addition to brewed coffee, you could get, sometimes instead of brewed coffee, they had brewed tea. And I was a big tea drinker back then. And that was a treat to just be able to go in a place and not have to, not ask for tea and they hand you hot water in a tea bag. No, they actually give you brewed tea. Beautiful thing. I don't know if they do that anymore because I think everybody's kind of adopted our coffee addiction. I think that might have set. Oh, reactivate it. Keep feeling like I'm missing a spot. That one looks a little junky, but I'm not going to worry about it. At least that's what I'm saying now. Yeah, they're really good. I love Kit Kats anyway. I kind of wanted to ask, but I didn't want to put too much pressure on them. That if they had the matcha Kit Kats up there, which possibly, I don't know, they might have. Oh my gosh, if you could have found those and found those like in this size, oh my gosh, I would have been in heaven. But I didn't want to put that much pressure on. It's like, no, just, that's okay. Kit Kats, just Kit Kats. But I love those matcha Kit Kats so much. The really, like the real dark green ones. Oh my gosh. That tells me my taste buds have really changed. I don't think I would have liked those like 10 years ago. Okay, so we need to do the flowers and the leaves. Now, where is that other green? Because I don't like that green. And I keep picking it up, but I don't like that one. Is it this one? Maybe I can tell by how sharpened it is. Maybe not. Maybe it's this one. Oh. Hmm. Okay. So I've been watching a lot of YouTube. Well, you probably can tell because I keep posting stuff to my wall, but um, do they have to be green though? I can't help it. I can't do multicolor. Um, and I just saw that some video I was watching that was about the show The Bear that was on Hulu or is on Hulu. Um, that really was a good show. Is a good show. I stopped watching it because I stopped watching it because it was something I would talk about with my best friend who passed away, and like I haven't been able to look at it since he's left this side I live in. But I guess the show is going into its final season, fifth and last season. I don't have Hulu anymore. I got rid of it with some of the shenanigans all these um, people have been doing the past year with censorship and things. They're on my block to oblivion list. Do not give them any money. But I figure sometime it'll be available. Hey, the way things keep changing, it's going to be available at some point to me in some kind of way, and I'll just binge. But yeah, that really was a good show, and I liked how the first season ended because they weren't sure that they were going to be taken up as a show, and so the ending of it does leave you feeling like it's in a good place. And I think I did start watching the second season and then I stopped. But it looks like it kept on being good. So that's on my list for someday. Someday I'm going to watch the rest of that. And if you have Hulu and you haven't watched that, I recommend. I recommend The Bear. The cast. See, there's something about shows with ensemble casts that I really just, I don't know. I really like them. Where the characters are continuing characters and you get to follow the growth of all of them and not just one. I really like that. I don't know if that's the green I want either, but that's what we're going with. Okay, feel like I'm starting to get a little too. I gotta learn my Stevie Wonder song, so I gotta protect my wrists. Actually, I have a songbook coming too, but I don't know how good the transcription or anything is in it. I think it said intermediate, so I'm hoping things aren't in there too hard, and I'm hoping I can find the other song that it is I'm looking for. But the interesting thing is, I couldn't find because I don't know. I think a lot of the songs that are in my head of Stevie Wonder are from the Intervision album, and they don't have a songbook of just that. And I don't know, I gotta figure out what the song is that I'm thinking of from there. Did that come out when I was like 13 or something like that? So let's see, it got me feeling, oh, I don't think somehow I detoured off of that. And now, like, it got me feeling, it's like now they actually, what was I there? Oh, I went for my cleaning, then I went for my filling. There were two different days over the past 3 weeks. When I got my cleaning, I said, well, we're going to submit to your insurance to see um, how much they'll cover for um, the cap that goes on top of the dental implant. So they already have the thing that the cap screws into. That's what I went through, like, for, I don't know, the process of that. I got it done over 3 years just because it was supposed to be kind of like immediate, except that then I got the braces, and so that interrupted that process because I had to get my teeth straightened first. But so the implant could go in the place where it's going to stay or whatever. And so I was like, and I just got my braces off. Really, like, has this been a month, 2 months? Is it 2 months? Almost 2 months now. Doesn't feel that long. I don't know. It's weird. I'm just starting to get used to eating normal. Like, I bit into my first apple this week. First time, like, I could eat apple without having to cut it up into slices. It was felt like liberation, total liberation. I was like beside myself. So I'm starting to get used to, like, oh yeah, I can eat this now. And I can eat this now. So I'm actually, like, getting more into cooking. Go figure. That really what was keeping me from wanting to cook in part was, like, I can't eat everything. It's such a chore. Who wants to cook if you can't, like, eat in peace? So I guess that the getting the cap is a whole process. So I'm actually going the beginning of I've scheduled the beginning of August for them to start doing, I don't know, the X-rays and measurements and whatever for that. And she said the appointment's going to be about 45 minutes. I was like, good Lord. Okay. I mean, it's not that long, but I'm thinking that long to have my. I am getting tired. I'm getting tired of holding my mouth open. I'm getting tired of that. I just realized that this week. I'm getting tired of sitting in a chair holding my mouth open. It's getting old. So I think that's why I responded the way I did. It's like, oh brother, what is this? Indian ink? I don't know what that is. See, I don't think I want this one, but I want this one maybe. Falling Skies. And there's 5 seasons of it. I have to check and see if I have access to that. Yeah, that was the other thing. With the thing that happened with my wrist, I was one of the things I had planned this summer. I wanted to sit, and I mentioned this before. I want to learn how to do that Tunisian crochet, and so I was gonna sit and binge watch something, and learn that crochet. And I couldn't. I was getting close to, like, okay, I think I want to do it like next week or whatever. And then the thing happened with my hand, and it's like, we won't be doing that. So I still have that I want to do, or at least sit and keep rolling up yarn like I've been doing. I want to assess my yarn situation because I got a whole freaking stash. that I want to see. Okay, what's there and what can I make with it? I really kind of want to start designing some stuff to make for myself. And if it turns out good, maybe make it for somebody else. Or just make myself some sweaters or something. Okay, I like that. Looks a tad messy, but I don't want to get it too wet. I wonder if I can do this. I probably need a sharper point. How long have I been on here? Hour, 3 minutes. I feel like I need sharper points on these. I get nervous about having to sharpen them so much but I got them to use, so I need to get over that. So other than that, I've been doing a lot of reading, writing, and praying. Suddenly, I don't know why. I don't think this is ever in my entire life since, I formally became a Christian, like way back when I was 15. I don't think I've ever done this. I just like was so shocked. I was like, why did that happen? Why was that a thing? I read Revelation chapter 19 to I don't know to 20. I don't know. I read a few of them like back to back, like before I went to bed, and I couldn't stop. I had to keep, and I did it in my I have a um kind of like what's an irregular Bible. It's like a Bible that I got cheap because somebody it was supposed to be engraved and somebody didn't engrave it right, or the person it was engraved for didn't, I don't know, return the Bible or something. I don't know. So I got a good deal on it. This was a long time ago. Um, and It's a journaling Bible, and I was reading it in there, and then I just kept writing all these notes in there on the side. And I don't know, it was just hitting some kind of way. And it was right before I went to bed. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, and I just, when I was finished, I was like, well, that was weird. Never in my life have I been drawn to like the end of Revelation. I usually get stuck on the seven, the seven churches. That part I've read a lot, but that part is like, because it's so confusing. But I think I got there because of some guy that I'm reading, and I don't know. I bumped into, I don't know. It was like 6 degrees of separation or something. I think I was reading something on my phone in the waiting room, because looking up the name of some guy, um, and I got to this page at University of Pennsylvania that they have of his writings, and it had this um, his timeline or whatever of Revelation, and the you know different time periods, or what's actually happening in each time period or whatever. And I saw that, and I don't know, I think that must have started it. I'm still trying to find that page again. I actually did save it on my phone, but I should be able to pull it up on my PC somehow, but I haven't, I've been doing other things and I didn't feel like messing around with that. But just, I don't know. I have a lot of stuff going on in my head. And I've been reading, the main thing I've been reading is, can I say the name? Why can't I talk today? Jacques Ellul. And I've been reading a lot of his stuff. And I've been reading one particular book of his. And started with one earlier this year. And somehow I wound up picking up another one a few weeks ago. And I think I'm going to finish that one this summer. I find that a lot of the things that we that the church is going through now in the United States actually happened in Europe in the 19th century. And so the way that's been, kind of resonating with me, it's like, oh, in the United States, we always think we're the first, even though we're like young as anything, young as a newborn babe compared to other places. But yeah, the 19th century, a lot of the stuff that, disagreements and things like that are going on in the church, um, and a lot of the kind of conflict between um, people politicizing the church and people saying you can't politicize the church and all that kind of stuff. This is an old argument, actually. It's an old argument that dates back to before the 19th century, but Ellul actually talks about um, the history of it happening in the 19th century while he's explaining some of the things that he's explaining. And it's really, really informative for me. I'm thinking of how we go forward with this, with where we're at today. And I find it interesting because I've always wondered about, I growing up, I just hear all these kind of things. Haven't, been a Christian for as long as I have been. And I'm always listening, listening to everybody, ears always open, and always keep things on the back burner that I don't have an answer for now, or that, that I don't understand yet, or whatever. And I grew up, I was preteen and teenager in the 70s when the whole thing was going on in South America with, I can't even say exactly what was happening politically, not intelligibly, not right now. They're in my head, kind of, but I don't know the precise things. But with what was going on there with things with communism and the disappearing of people, and governments with rulers, just fighting political systems and the social impact of that, and how the church got involved in it. the Catholic Church in particular, and how in some ways they had to. But then there was also some wondering of how much and the ways that they were getting involved was that, you know, proper to do, and how their theology kind of morphed. In some ways, some people in the church took on a theology that almost like was equating the poor with Christ, not just saying that we are called to help the poor, not brutalize them, not take advantage, not this, not that, but they were going as far as like equating the poor, like that is Christ. Christ is the poor, and he was saying like that extreme, taking it to that extreme, and and he was pointing out extremes on both sides, and this was one side, like the more liberal side or whatever, and it was called liberation theology. And I always wondered about that because I'd heard stories or whatever growing up about um, the things that the nuns and the priests were doing in South America. Some good, some bad, but I didn't know exactly. I mean, I know the trouble down there was what was driving the response, but then wondering about how certain people or Christians found it okay to do whatever they did, whether I saw what it was good or bad. How did they, what motivated them to do that, and what kind of what positions were they in where they had to decide to do what they did? I don't know. I don't even think I'm making any sense. Whatever. But yeah, it all goes into the things behind a lot of that, and I'm really enjoying reading this. I'm just reading it very thoughtfully and prayerfully because it's like, okay, Lord, you had me get this. You had me bump into this guy, and here I am. What do you want me to know? What do I need to know? And one of the main things that I got from there, from his book so far, that like it's like, yeah, is that the church is always going through cycles of um, corruption and renewal, and on many different levels. But overall, it's always going through a cycle of conformity, what he calls conformity, conforming to church as a political or institutional power, versus um, being, you know, the Christianity of the Bible. Okay, so it always goes through cycles of conformity to the world's systems, so to speak, and the Christ of the Bible, and God's will according to how it's laid out in the Bible, like a better way to say it. So it's always going through cycles of conformity, renewal, conformity, renewal. And back in the 19th century, and back in like Kierkegaard's time, it was going through one of those. It had that, there was that conformity going on, and that's what Kierkegaard was railing against. And I think we're in one of those. We're on the on the edge of, or the beginnings of renewal, because the last 50 years at least, well, the last 50 years has had a very particular type of um, conformity going on that has to get rooted out, to get back to the essence, to get back to the essence of what Christianity is. And to delineate between the institutional um, an institutionalized version, sociological version of Christianity, and what Christianity really is. I don't know, it's me dumbing down. Well, that's me conveying Elul in my own stupid way. But I recommend reading him. I'm really like, I don't know. I don't know how I bumped into him. I don't know how, but I'm glad I did. And it helps me think about the moment that we're in. And understand, like, even my years being a Christian in America and having gone to different types of churches and being a part of them and having seen and heard things, some of which I was like, where the heck is that coming from? And realizing, oh, um, yeah, it's like, it's all like, that makes sense to me now. And yeah, no wonder I was like, I don't think I want to go here anymore. Now I understand. Discernment was kicking in even though I didn't know what. And something interesting that I'm finding is that even if somebody has error or ill will in what they're conveying in a church or in a Christian organization or whatever, there's still something there. Like, I found myself, even like just in maybe like 7 years ago, someone or a group or whatever, things that they were saying that were hitting. They were hitting. It was like, yes, yes, and God was using that stuff. And then there would be a moment where they would say something and I was like, no, but not that. That's what I'd be saying to myself. No, but not that. Not like that. So the Lord was still ministering through what they were saying, but when something was off, the spirit, my spirit knew it and was like, nah, not that. Hey, Ivy Pearl, happy Saturday. And so for a while, I was kind of fretting because I've been finding out the roots of a lot of things that I have believed or was taught in the church from the time I got saved, and I'm finding out where they come from, and that the root is actually like it's not what I thought it was. That was some human being that thought of that. That was not a God thing. That was somebody's interpretation of it, which actually is kind of whack. And oh, guess what else this person was doing besides telling this stuff? Um, and but the Lord let me know you don't have to worry about that. I led you. And I led you out of certain things because of, you know, where things are error, they're error. I'm not going to let you get that, but you got the good stuff out of what it was. And I spoke to you through that in the way I needed to talk to you. I don't know. So he's not going to let us miss it. He's never going to let you miss it. If you want him, he's not going to let you miss it. And that's kind of nice to know that, like, he's not going to let you miss it. If you want him, you're going to have him. If you ask for a fish, he's not going to give you a stone. You want that fish, he's not going to give you a stone. But yeah, I still am amazed at how some stuff was really like, uh, so I'm kind of like looking at a lot of things to try and, you know, find out where does this come from? What's the root of it? I'm just like inspecting it. And it's almost like when you buy like a bushel of apples or something, and they all look good when you're at the, you know, market or whatever, the farm store or whatever. But when you get home, you go through to see and make sure they're all okay. You know, inspect them, see what they look like, because you don't want some worm creeping up out of there, out of the basket, like, you know, on it when you don't expect it, and having it freak you out when you get ready to go peel apples to make a pie. So I'm kind of doing that, and just for my own, just I want to know. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's say my hope is built on nothing less than Jesus' blood and righteousness. I dare not trust the sweetest frame, but wholly lean on Jesus' name. I was singing that in my car the other day, and I was like, man, you remember all those lyrics to the entire first verse? Don't ask me about the second one. I don't remember those. I gotta look that up. I'm even looking at songs too, and I was like, okay. And as I was singing that song, I was like, okay, that's got good words. That makes sense. That's Bible. Some of these other songs, they ain't Bible. They're like, I don't know what they are. Ooh, I like that. That turned out cool. I like that green. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's what you got to do. Yep. Discernment, discernment, discernment. And I can see, like, I always kind of felt like, you know, even though they said, like, you know, don't forsake the assembling of yourselves and whatever, I think in some ways I've had to stay out of some churches because I would be too likely to try and please the people around me or get sucked in by the relationship. And maybe I'm not this way, but maybe I just think I'm this way, but to be so tied to relationship that I would let something slide, and I don't want to be that person. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not about me because I have left places because I was like, I don't think so. There are places I didn't go because I was like, no, I don't think so. So I don't know why I think that, but um, about myself. But I feel like I don't know. I see how people go along to get along, and I just like, no, I can't do that. There's a certain, I guess I have a cutting off point, I guess, where really I'm not that way where I would do that. But I don't know. I don't know, but I think I'm nervous about that, like, what if, you know, suddenly, like, I let it slip, you know, if I let that vigilance slip. I don't know. I don't know why I think that. Because I have left places when something was like kind of. And I didn't leave in a big fuss or anything like that. I just, quietly disappeared, you know. But then, well, I wonder, like, should I have said something? But at the time, one time I asked the Lord specifically if I should say something, and he said no. I was like, okay, okay. Um, that it was something. It was bigger than me. There was nothing that I could do but to pray because it was bigger than me, and I guess I wouldn't have been heard if I spoke. So he was like, just go. Uh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm looking at songs and like, man, I know so many like worship songs. And it's like, ooh, I'm thinking, how many am I gonna have to throw away? I have to throw them right in the trash. Well, I mean, if it's not really a worship song, if it's not worshiping God, then it's not a worship song. So yeah, it deserves to be in the trash. So I don't think I'll have a problem throwing it away, but I might be like, oh, but the music is so pretty. Can I change the words? I could probably change the words. They used to do that. But I don't know. I'm just thinking about a lot of stuff. I just like my mother always used to say, you got to get to the root of it. Child, she shouldn't have told me that because I'm too obsessive. Let me dig it all the way down. Let me dig it all the way to China. Get to the root of it. I won't stop. It's like, Lord, help me put on the brakes because I can get obsessive. It's like I used to have friends, they'd be, you know, arguing about, pre-millennial rapture, post-millennial rapture, all this stuff. Then they come and they ask me, and they're like, "What do you think?" It's like, I don't care. I says, no matter what, I just want to be ready. I'm focusing on that. You can come before, after, in between, whatever. I don't care. I just want to be ready. I'm focusing on that. Everything else is just like a guess. Who cares? He told me what to do. Be ready. So that's what I'm working on. Being ready. There's a lot of things I don't know. There's a lot of mysteries. If we're sitting here fussing about it, obviously we don't know because we can still fuss about it. Just be ready. Just be ready. It irritates me when people argue about stuff like that. I gotta be honest, it does. What doesn't irritate me is if somebody presents both or all sides, many different perspectives of it, then I'm like, yeah, okay. Because when there's things that we don't really know because we see through a glass darkly, trying to be emphatic about it, honestly, really, to some people it makes you look like an expert, but to me it makes you look kind of like an educated fool because we really don't know. And I think about Abraham and Joseph and how they had a promise from God and they didn't know what it really they knew what the promise was, but they didn't know what it was going to look like in real time. They had no idea. They had no conception of it because it hadn't happened to them before. They had no idea. It's only after it happened that they knew this is how it is. That's what caused Abraham to listen to Sarah and have a baby with Hagar, because he thought, well, maybe this is the way it's gonna happen. I don't know. Let me do it. And notice how he messed everything up. Well, he didn't mess everything up. God was still faithful, and he did what he was gonna do, and he took care of Hagar too and Ishmael. But that wasn't the way. And I feel like all that talk of post-trib, pre-trib, whatever, anything we talk about in theology that people argue over, we're not going to know until when we see him, we shall be like him, for we shall see him face to face. It all comes down to that. Other than that, we see through glass darkly. Don't argue about it. Instead of arguing about it, go love somebody. Go tell somebody about the love of Christ. Go live the love of Christ so somebody can see and say, what's up with that person? They're different. That takes energy. Good energy. Do that. Talk less, do more. In the words of Nike, just do it. I mean, it's silly. I don't know. Just really, I don't know. Because, I mean, I grew up with, and I think it was shortly after I got saved, was it? I can't even remember. I know the church where I got saved, and I can't remember. And I remember the month. It was in March of some year. But I can't remember where. It was between one of two churches. I know that much, but I can't remember anything else about it. I don't know why that is. But I do remember after that, one of the first services I went to was a Wednesday night service at the church that wound up being my church that I attended for quite a few years until I moved out of my parents' house. I saw that movie, A Thief in the Night. I don't know, it was just Wednesday night. We were watching a movie. What I thought of it after I saw it, well, it was a movie. I don't know. I thought I learned something from it, but I didn't hold it so close to my heart. Like, you know, that's the way it is and whatever. But I mean, it stuck in my head. Like, even it sticks in my head now. Like, with things that everybody would talk about, like I don't know why I'm going here. Why am I'm going here though. Things people would talk about, like the mark of the beast, and they were talking about the UPC codes back then that they were, they were the mark of the beast, and we're way beyond that now. Shoot, using your face to turn on your computer or your phone, unlock your phone, and all this other stuff. We're way beyond that. So I'm like, I mean, it could be like I mean, it makes sense that we can see how technology can, you know, be available to do the kind of things they're talking about with, limiting how much food you can eat. And all. I don't know. I'm trying to think back to all those stories. I need to watch that movie again. But I don't know how I took any of that stuff back then. I've always been a person who asked why, and I guess maybe it's like I just took it. Okay, it's just one of them things. But I wasn't gonna go riding around the world telling everybody about it because I didn't know how to explain it from the Bible in a way that made sense to me. So I wasn't going to tell anybody else. I was going to tell people what the Lord did in my life. I don't know, but I know a lot of people like to, I don't know. use eschatology to maybe witness to people, and I don't know. It doesn't work for me. Like, again, it's like one of those things. Like, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I don't quite know what I'm saying or why I'm saying that, but I don't know. It just doesn't work for me. I guess because I used to hang around a lot of guys. Being in a band, you wind up being around a lot of guys, and I don't know. They used to like to argue about stuff like that. Oh, it doesn't matter. What's wrong with you? That's just what I wanted to say. It's like arguing over who's well, no, even with saying who's the better football team, you probably have more solid things to rely on than trying to get detailed about eschatology. That's where the fault is, trying to get detailed. But when that comes back, I'm just rambling, I'm sorry. But I think that comes back to me being so surprised that I was reading successive 3-4 chapters of Revelation that like as, towards the end I was like, what is making me and I'm wondering if maybe this is now when the Lord says, okay, now you can read this stuff. Now I want you to read it. Which is like, wow, okay. I don't know. Well, I stayed away from it because I was like, the heck, this doesn't make any sense. You got this one, you got this one on the white horse, this one on this horse, and this and that, and you know who's on first, who's on second. It's like, oh my gosh, sounds like John ate too much ice cream before he went to bed. But it's there in the book, and it's there for a reason. So I kind of want to think about why, and because I've learned more about like European and ancient history, and I'm not a brain or anything on it, but I've learned more about it, and so I think maybe I can maybe because of that I can handle it more reading that. I don't know. Oh, no clue. But I do like how these guys are turning out. That I do know. Coloring and rambling, coloring and rambling. It's like I just saw. I don't think I don't think I shared the post because it's not so easy to share shorts. But I watched Frida. Was it Frida Yitzel? She's a I don't know how she refers to herself. She's a she's a Hasidic Jew, but she's left the I don't know, or either she's a Hasidic Jew that doesn't practice, or but still lives in the community or near the community or whatever. But like she doesn't live as an observant Hasidic Jew, like with what they have to wear and all that other kind of stuff. But she's still in the community. I love listening to her. I learned so much from listening to her. Um, she interviews people from the community, and she does tours in New York City of the Hasidic community. But she interviews people, and just I don't know. I learned a lot from her. And why did I mention her? Oh, because she actually had a short, and I hope she's going to have an extended video of it where she interviews a woman who is working on a Jewish Jewish museum in Poland, and it was really just in that little short. It was really insightful. I don't know, what does this have to do with what I was saying before? I don't know, but check out Frida because she's cool. Um, that in what's this, again, like going back to like 19th century. I think she was talking about 19th century Poland. Um, that area, it was like Poland, Lithuania, and that it was a very multicultural area that had people of different religions and ethnicities all in that area, and that had no problem, living together, living with each other. Um, and Really interesting. And then for that to go down to being now the most homogeneous um, nation in the world, like in Poland, like you're Polish, and that's it. Like, and everybody's white and Polish, like white Polish, and either you're Christian or you're not, but you're not anything else or whatever. Let me get her channel. I can get it because I got my other window open. Um, for her channel was the first place where I learned that, excuse me, I had no idea that there it is right here. Can I copy the let's see. Oh, she said the 18th century, not the 19th century. I can get the link. Here's the link to the short. Um, but I found out from an interview, from watching her channel, I had no idea what Hasidic Jews' stance is on the state of Israel. That they're not Zionists, and I actually left this in a message on her channel like a couple weeks ago, and in her interview where uh, where she was talking with a woman in the community who well, I probably can't say that word here on YouTube, but who talks about that time of trouble and the way she talks about it, and it's not a way that you would normally hear someone like her talk about it. And I left a long comment underneath there. But anyway, so that was the first time I learned that, so Hasidic Jews actually believe that they want God to make their homeland. Like, that makes sense to me. This is something of the spirit. They want it to be made by him, not made by human hands, not made by men. And that totally resonates with me. Um, and something that I've been thinking about a lot, that what we have today is made by human hands. And what's made by human hands is going to have human results. And I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't know. That's a touchy subject, in on this platform or whatever. I don't know, but yeah. So I'm praying with the Hasidic rabbis or whatever. I'm praying with them because that's what I want too. I don't know, but yeah, check out Frida. Very cool. Like, I wish I lived near her because I'd like to go and just sit and have coffee with her. Coffee and pastries. There must be pastries. There must be pastries. Mm. But like when I was here a few years ago, the landscape is changing. The landscape is changing. Well, it's been in the works for, well, you know, the world doesn't stop. And so everything's been in the works for a while, but the visible change or the upheaval is what I felt in my spirit. That was, and that's why I kind of shuddered because I don't like change, and I don't like big change. I don't like that. But now I'm seeing it before my eyes. The changes in across every area of our society, and it gives me comfort knowing that, okay, so you told me that stuff was going to happen. I may not know the specifics of it, but I know you got us. And it's like I was saying, there was that analogy that I always think of with me being on that subway in Boston where I was standing. Didn't realize it, but I was actually one of my feet was on one side of the in the that we were in the turning train, or the where it's linked, and my foot was on one side of the link and the other foot was on the other side of the link, and the train didn't know that until the train started turning. And my legs started splitting apart and I had to jump on one side or the other. That was really crazy. Obviously it left an impression on me because like I remember it all these years later. um but to know where you're standing, you'll be all right. He'll keep you stable. What's this psalm? It says, I will not be shaken. There's a few of them where it says something like that. But yeah, things are changing, but you'll be all right. Eyes on him. Eyes on him. You'll be all right. All these exposures and things that are happening in the church, it's a good thing. It's been a long time coming. I'm finding out the reasons why I felt the way I did about certain people. It's like, oh, it's giving me confidence that, yeah, okay, Lord, you did give me discernment. I do have discernment. Thank you. Because I thought there was something wrong maybe with me, but no, nope. I'm rambling, I know, I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. But if there's something there to catch, when you feel like catching, catch it. If it's worthless, throw it in the trash. I feel like I want something. I want something sweet. It's kind of late for that though. No Canadian Kit Kat tonight. Not tonight. I had one last night. We bought some cherries and they're really good. I tore some of those up. Cherries and blueberries. And there's some watermelon actually in the That would be good. Wow, this is the longest I've colored in like a couple weeks. How much more did I do in this one? It almost looks like it, and then it looks like it didn't. I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Oh, I gotta do this one. Yeah, I figured this little dabbing was probably good for me too. To use water now so I can be a little kinder to my hand. So, okay, gotta do the middle of these things and then, I don't know, do the flowers. Oh, I gotta do the butterfly. Hold on one second. I'm coloring in this book and I don't know, I don't know, I don't really, I keep moving to another page instead of staying on the one I'm on. Okay, I even started the first little guy. I started doing him too. I gotta finish that. But this is the Teresa Goodridge Gnomes at Home. And I did finish this one. I don't know. You know what? I didn't really do anything with those, but they are supposed to be white. They're kind of tiny. Finish this one. I feel like I want to spray it because I want it to be shiny. I like things shiny. And then this page, I didn't finish it. That's when my hand went wacko. Um, I was a little. I didn't know what to do. Like to have it all be the same color. That kind of felt like too much. But then when I put the other colors in there, I'm like, I don't know if that's gonna work, but we're gonna make it work. It's just gonna have to be that way. Um, and I use Brute Fooners on this page mostly, but I also use some Prismacolor in there too. And this one to do with Brute Fooners, and I have to finish it. Wasn't sure how I was feeling about it. I feel like there's something I need to do to kick it up a notch or whatever, and I don't know what that is. I'm on pages where I get like a block and I just don't know. Then because I didn't know what else to do with that other one, this is the one I started using the Derwent ink tints on. I started with her hat. That's why it's got so many different things going on in there. I wasn't enjoying how it was going down, and so I wanted to go back to pencil. But then I also kind of wrinkled a little bit on this side. I did a combination here, and I started playing with using regular, oil-based pencils, and then doing, using them in conjunction with the ink tints, which was kind of interesting. So I'm probably going to do some more exploring with that on this page. And the jeans also have a combination of ink tints and regular ink tints and colors. So I don't know if it's doing anything. I know what it did with this though, so I can tell something happened, but I don't know exactly what. I can't describe it. So I keep going from page to page and trying not to do that. Trying not to. I think that's as far as I got. Trying not to do any more after this. There's a lot of pages in here. So that is it for me. I'm going to get off of here and go do something else. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you to those who watch on the replay. And have a good night. Bye-bye.